Hello guys, and welcome back to Joe's Ventures. And today we're going to be doing another kind of little episode. So this is kind of a little bit of a special one. I've already done one of these for Jurassic World Evolution 1, 2, and now we're doing one for 3. So this is kind of a DLC idea and speculated roadmap for Jurassic World Evolution 3. So based on a couple of new things, with the lore of Rebirth and some other things like that. And so some of the new features, like breeding and modular building, I think this is I've changed some ideas and updated some ideas and added some new ones for the roadmap. So I'm really excited to see what you guys think of these ideas, and I'm actually quite proud of these in a lot of regards. I think they make pretty good stories, and yeah, I'm excited to go through these. So this is the kind of speculated roadmap or DLC ideas, so we're going to carry on with that. So let's carry on. So what we know is typical for most Frontier games is that they release 4 packs per year. With Jurassic World Evolution 2, we got in the first year or two, we got the kind of large, small, Dominion and Malta DLCs, it's the big story DLCs, and then we got our animal packs kind of in between them until that kind of finished. So with the 4 DLCs I have planned here, that keep that going for a couple years. But yeah, that works out alright, and that's kind of spaced out to be every 3 months or so. And it's based off the typical DLC rollout for like Planet Zoo, Jurassic World Evolution 1, Jurassic World Evolution 2, and other Frontier games. So Jurassic World Rebirth, what JWE3 refers to, came out in July 2025, and I have seen it. It's a good movie. Well, I'm not going to give a review of it, but it was like good, okay. It wasn't amazing, but it adds a bit of lore and stuff, so I'm excited to see what we can get with it. I'm not a review channel in that regard. And with JWE released in October 2025, so it's coming out in the next few months, not too long away. Most likely, last DLC will be in 2027. That kind of matches that sort of 3-year cycle for Jurassic World Evolution 2. So I don't think we're getting a 4. I really can't see how you could justify a 4, but yeah, that's kind of the idea of it. I think they're just going to keep with 3 because 3's really got a lot of those features that the community wanted. So there is potential smaller DLCs or free editions, like with the Raptor Squad pack in the first game. The Pseudoceratops in the first game was also added in as well. The 30th anniversary update, that was another really cool update for Jurassic World Evolution 2. That was cool as well. And that could be added along with other JP media, so such as Camp Cretaceous Season 5 and an adventure, things like that. So a lot of those things that kind of happened at Camp Cretaceous was as well, had an adventure, Chaos Theory. That's something that's been really, really cool, and I've got some ideas based on that. And then small updates could already add features in the packs I've come up with, so I'll keep it very general. And I've put updates video change very soon. I didn't change it much from the last one, but who knows? Maybe when we get a bit more information, I might, or maybe once we get the game and play for it a bit, I'll make an updates one and kind of see what things I would like to see added to the game in terms of gameplay, because really we don't know anything about the game at the moment other than kind of what we've been told. So if we give it a play around, come up with ideas and things to see what people want to change and add and things like that. But yeah, so careful. This is, Rebirth DLC. So this is the DLC kind of based a lot about Rebirth, the movie. I haven't given it a name yet because, of course, that's a hard struggle thing to do. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen the movie, be very careful. This will contain spoilers, so don't go, especially in the next DLC pack as well. A little bit of teasing there, but yeah, if you guys don't want to hear about Rebirth, if you haven't seen it yet, turn off now. Go watch another video, save this and you watch later, and then come back and watch it just once you've seen it, because I don't, obviously, if you're one of those people that like spoilers, or don't really care about spoilers, obviously I don't want to spoil it for you here, but of course I'm just making sure you got that warning, because, I don't want to throw you in the dark like that. But let's carry on. So the story is pretty much based off the one around the movie. I think it's a great story kind of point for a player, because you can go around and actually do the task yourself. So the story is based around the premise of the movie: to find the 3 largest animals of land, which is Titanosaurus, air, Quetzalcoatlus, and water, Mosasaurus, to develop new heart medicine to save human lives. So I think that's a great premise. You can go around trying darting dinosaurs or things like that. I think that works well for a game. Oh, but yeah, because I've actually heard a lot of people in reviews refer to it as like a game mission, almost like it sounds like a game plot. So I think that, why not put it in a game? So I think that works out quite well. Another thing I think would be really good is also try to better explain the decline of the dinosaurs globally, because I really don't buy the excuse, they couldn't survive in. And I think Blessing Sight did a really good video of this as well. He kind of went through, and all these points were true. You know, the point in the movie is that they couldn't survive and only could survive in the aquatics because of more oxygen and warmer. When we do have dinosaurs that lived in polar climates, potentially below freezing, you know, like Nanukosaurus and Leilanosaurus, we definitely have dinosaurs that would have lived in very cold temperatures. Maybe not quite as cold as today's Arctic, but you know, definitely cold and colder than what we think of it. Um, you know, places below freezing. But also as well, the equator has slightly less oxygen because warm air tends to have more molecules kind of moving around in there, which means there's less actual space for molecules. So it tends to have proportionally a little bit less oxygen, so that kind of doesn't work. So I think this is a great idea to kind of retcon that, especially with the plot of Jurassic World Evolution 3 in general being about, you know, dinosaurs around the world. They kind of, for Jurassic World Evolution 3, and it's kind of almost like the plot for Rebirth and the plot for the third game is kind of juxtaposed to each other. So try and better way to reconcile that. Maybe they are declining because of disease. And I think a really good excuse is hunting, because I imagine, you know, a lot of people would be very anti-large animals like that. You know, people in America can barely live with wolves. How do you think they're going to live with tyrannosaurs and Allosaurus and all these large multi-ton predators living in their areas? So I think that's a pretty good excuse. Hunting them, disease is another good one. You know, different immune systems. I think that's a good one as well. I think it better explain that just all the environment's not right. I think there's a better way to explain that if they do want to commit to that. Because, yeah, I think they're kind of juxtaposed. But, yeah, it's cool. But, yeah, potential returning characters. You know, you have Zora Bennett, Duncan Kincaid, Henry Loomis, and Martin Krebs. You know, you could potentially have Scarlett Johansson reprise a role. I highly doubt it. She'd probably cost like $20 million to do the role. But, you know, who knows? They might be able to book her in. That'd be cool. But anyway, we'll carry on. So we're going to do the islands here. So the kind of island is Islas de Saint Hubert, which is the map there. So this is an island of the Caribbean, so it's kind of the other side from Costa Rica. This was an early research facility for Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, where they kind of made a lot of hybrids and things, and this is kind of where all the park rejects and all the funky stuff went, even though that's basically Isla Sorna 2. But whatever, they wanted a new island, so we'll stick with that. But yeah, tropical climate, because it's in I think it's near the Lesser Antilles, the Greater Antilles or something like that, and you know, the Caribbean, Barbados, around that area. So tropical, high cliffs. The map can have high cliffs, large natural lagoons, and open areas for each species for their habitat. And honestly, these could each be a map in their own, like different areas on the island. I think it would be cool, you know, to have different areas on the island that represent each species. Because a big natural lagoon, I could imagine, like as a map, you could do a lot with that. Very similar to the one in Jurassic World Evolution 2 from the Malta DLC. I think that'd be quite cool. You could have a big flat area for your titanosaurs and have that central valley replicated, and then you could have some high cliffs and really some funky terrain maps that could be useful, you know, to build on parks and things like that. Just create a bit of variety, and you know, kind of fits the themes of getting the blood from each animal. So I think that fits in well. But then we got new dinosaurs, so there's quite a lot of new stuff in the movie. I've taken some screenshots, obviously, from as well, and also just trying to get as much as we can. So we've got some new dinosaurs, so you love that, even though we've only got technically 2 dinosaurs on this list. We did get a little peek at the Eurygnathus, very, very small, so I don't know how that'll work. I actually kind of hope they'll do mini exhibits, PK style, in Jurassic World Evolution 3, but I doubt it, so we'll see how that goes. But Eurygnathus made an appearance in the movie. That was quite a cool animal to see, and it's quite cute. We also got Aquilops, you know, Dolores. That's a cool little species there. Another cool little ceratopsian they get to have, very much similar to Microceratus. But also really another big sauropod that I don't know how I feel about the design, but how it portrayed in the movie was really cool, and there's a lot of cool aspects to it. Is the Titanosaurus, and obviously this needs to be included because it is such an integral part of the plot and the game, because that's one of the big things they want, of course. And yeah, there's other little things that I don't doubt they'll be added, but I think it's cool to have them regardless because they are part of the movie. We've got this large amphibian. We obviously don't get a scientific name. There's lots of large temnospondyl amphibians it could be. A lot of people have just kind of given random names of large temnospondyls like Macedontosaurus and Archaeostegia and all sorts of random names. But you know, I'll just call it a large amphibian. And then this large eel thing here, which I don't think if it's a what species it is. I can't give it a genus. But yeah, something like that would still be quite cool. And then we've also got a lot of new variants for a lot of dinosaurs we know and love. You can see we've got one from Ankylosaurus. We got that really cool Mosasaurus. Actually quite like the new design. A little bit more accurate. Not quite there, but did try. I like the smoother skin and everything did come out rather nicely. The Quetzalcoatlus, which has got a, I would say, interesting design. It kind of sucks that they went backwards in terms of accuracy for that one. But in terms of the design, I think it looks alright. And you got the Spinosaurus, which is another cool one. You know, more typical 2020 Spinosaurus now, because we actually know that they have that big tail now, and it's semi-aquatic as well, which I think is really cool. And we know, obviously, we know the dinosaurs will swim and eat water in game, so it's cool to have something like that. And then you got the 4 skins that go with that, because each individual in the movie has 4 different skins. We've also got the Tyrannosaurus. It got a really cool variant as well. You know, swimming in the rivers or raft scene. That was quite cool. Ripped straight out of the novel. That was a really cool scene. I did like that one, and it looked really, really good. Definitely a big fan of that. And they've also got the Velociraptor that we saw for all of 20 seconds. I didn't even get that proper good look at it, but really, really cool in that regard. And then we get new skins. So these new skins here, Consignatus, we've got this kind of like dart frog skin, you know, a bit of blue and red there. Looks really nice. And then we got the Dilophosaurus that we saw from that same river scene here. That's got a very interesting color to it, you know, quite drab, and then you got bright reds and yellows to it. So I think that's a good one to add as well. Yeah, also got here the temple theme. So you can see the island had a lot of Aztec kind of style to it. I think that'd be a cool theme to expand on. You really only see it in the movie as part of the Quetz Nest. And yeah, maybe the part of the story could be talking about, you know, maybe the island, you know, was archaeological site or something like that. And, you know, you could add that theme and use it a bit more, which I think would be quite cool. And really the only example is the Quetz Nest, but I think that could be expanded a lot, considering you could have like 200, 300 building pieces in the Planet Coaster, Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo style, and really expand that a bit more. So I think that'd be quite cool. But yeah, moving on. So that's the Rebirth DLC. You'll notice that I didn't add a couple things because I've got them all in their own kind of style. So this is the, I'll go into that, but yeah, random dinosaur spawning. I think that'd be really cool to have, you know, create a true Site B. This kind of goes well with another ideas down in one of the one of the DLC packs. You know, either or could introduce it, and it'd be cool to have like a natural ecosystem. You don't need to build hatcheries or things like that. And now with dinosaur breeding, that definitely can make that happen. But anyway, we're gonna carry on. So we got hybrid DLC. So this is kind of the Secrets of Dr. Wu DLC version for this game, and it's greatly expanded upon. It has a lot to do with the lore of both Jurassic World Rebirth and other things like that, so let's get into it. So the campaign. So the story is based about the timeline of the creation for the hybrids, from the Distortus Rex, which is considered the first one, right to the latest one, which was Indoraptor. So the story would start on Isla Saint Hubert, creating those first hybrids, and then end with Lockwood Manor creating the Indoraptor. So I did originally have this as a Doctor Who DLC, so I haven't gone through and proofread it 100%, but that's alright. So this would be cool. It would help connect, you know, those Jurassic World Rebirth to Jurassic World, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, Camp Cretaceous, and Camp Cretaceous Adventure. So it's quite a kind of like a big see-through there, a big line of movies. Because there's not much to do with Rebirth, of course. I mean, Dominion. But yeah, that kind of, all those kind of connect together. So I think it'd be a great way, and a great like story that could be told. I like that story idea. It would bring back hybrids from the last 4 Jurassic World movies, along with expanding the Jurassic World building theme. And we'll get to a little bit of other things as well, and potentially return, you know, Henry Wu, Owen Grady, Claire Dearing, Simon Masrani, those kind of characters. So something more similar to the first game, or some of the Chaos theories, which would be quite cool. But yeah, new maps. So we got here Isla Saint Hubert in 2008. So this would be got the InGen building theme, and it is a tropical map. You can see quite beautiful. I actually think they got the great locations for that movie. So this would be creating those first hybrids like the Distortus and the Mutodon, and then you'd learn more about them and see the Distortus escape and the facility become abandoned. And then you'd skip a time, you know, to 2014. So this would be similar to the Isla Tucana reverse facility in the first game, and you'll be introducing new hybrids, you know, like young Indominus and Scorpius Rex and things like that in them. Also, the Mutodon, you know, would be in the first one, but this one you'd have other things like that as well. You also have some other aspects to it to kind of expand Jurassic World a little bit. Raptor training, and then you could potentially have the park in the background of the map, similar to how they did the Chaos Theory one, the Isla Sauna one. I think that was really cool. They added those little Easter eggs. They also got Lockwood Manor. So Lockwood Manor is a mainland map, so it's from Northern California. So they would add like a new biome, and that would be taking the dinosaurs off Nublar, nursing them back to health, and selling them. So that kind of doing the black market thing. And missions could include Indoraptor new hybrids as well, and end with the dinosaurs escaping to the wild, and end with basically the end of Fallen Kingdom. So that's cool in that regard. So we'll expand the Jurassic World themes. You get the Jurassic World Raptor paddock, Indominus Rex paddock, and decorations. I imagine, especially with Jurassic World Evolution 3's modular building, a lot of these may already be in the game, but there's a lot of cool aspects they could add regardless. As I mentioned, those paddocks, other decorations that they don't add, just an excuse to add them, like the statues and other attractions and things like that they could add. But also animatronic dinosaurs from Hidden Adventure. I think that's a really cool thing that they could do. They already do animatronics in Planet Coaster, so I think that'd be quite cool. And they also got the Isla San Hubert island or InGen theme. So this was kind of, as the movie suggests, it was a early testing facility for the original Jurassic Park and world to kind of create these different hybrids and things. And it's a cool style, very much traditional InGen style. So I think that'd be cool to add some buildings like that. It looks really, really cool in my regard, and personally. In terms of hybrids, I did put Stegoceratops because there's the Jurassic World version. You can kind of see there we didn't really get that. I mentioned the other hybrids, like the 4 other hybrids, like Sinoceratops or Spinoceratops, the Ankylodocus and those guys. I think they should be added as free, but maybe they'll get a redesign. I don't think the Ankylodocus needs a redesign. It's already been redesigned. But yeah, add that to either the free part of the DLC or redesigned and put them as part of the DLC just to expand that roster a little bit. But then you'll also get some, of course, new animals. You get the Distortus Rex and the Mutadon, which are both early versions of hybrids from the kind of beginning of the game. Beginning of the story, so you get those new hybrids kind of going on, and then you can go on with other hybrids and kind of add to the canon in that regard. But I also think it would be cool to add an aquatic or pterosaur hybrid, which the Mutadon kind of is a pterosaur hybrid. But I think it'd be cool to have an aquatic hybrid, so excuse to build an aviary and things like that. And if you go back up to the front, you can see there's a reservoir there for the original map or the area, so you could maybe have the reservoir as a lagoon, and then maybe create a hybrid to go in that lagoon, or something like that. It's just ideas thrown around. They've also got dinosaur variants and textures. So these are textures based off the Jurassic World website, done by Julius Cittoni, who's a really, really accomplished paleoartist. But yeah, we got Baryonyx, Pachycephalosaurus, Parasaurolophus, and Pteranodon. All these kind of really cool designs. Others of his designs were used, like the Metriacanthosaurus in the game, so I think it'd be cool to complete that and give some accurate versions to a few of our animals. I think that'd be quite cool. Also, Jurassic World remodel, or Jurassic World Dominion Apatosaurus remodel. I don't know if the Apatosaurus will be getting a remodel in general. I think it does need one. You can see it looks a lot different than the one in the game. But also Microceratus getting a variant. That's a Jurassic World website one compared to the one that's in game. So I think that's another really cool thing in that regard. But yeah, I like that one as well. Next up, we've got Jurassic World Evolution 3's Return to Lost World. So this one's my baby. I love this little DLC idea. I'm going to go through it again. You can't stop me. I love it. And I want to make this a reality. I like this kind of idea. It's kind of the Return to Jurassic Park for the game. So I think it'd be cool to have that. And Isla Sorna is kind of, Jurassic Lost World's another one of my favorite movies. I think it deserves a little bit more love. So the story is based on The Lost World, second movie. Missions are around studying the wild dinosaurs on Isla Sorna, fighting off InGen and taking back dinosaurs, nursing them back to health, and then releasing them back into the wild. Or back into, the Sorna, Isla Sorna. Potential recruiting characters in the game, be Nick Van Owen, Dr. Sarah Harding, Peter Ludlow, and also things like Ian Malcolm and things like that, because he was in the movie, and he's already in the game anyway, so you might have him reprise his role for that kind of DLC, which would be really cool. But new maps, I like the idea, is the Isla Sorna Tempera map for 97. So this is a large map with more free-roaming dinosaurs. The map will be more boreal forest, open grasslands, like in The Lost World, with redwoods based on the game trail scene. So you can kind of see that game trail scene. I think that would work quite well. Easter eggs across the place, would be from the Lost World Workers Village, the Rex Nest, the Caravan on the Cliff, River Long Grass. If you want to add multiple maps, you could add, a few different things like that. for the story. So the missions around this will be studying dinosaurs, taking pictures, rescuing dinosaurs from InGen/Manticorp/Biosyn, like the poachers in the Biosyn DLC. I think that was a really cool game mechanic for that I think should be used in other DLCs and other stories as well. So that's quite cool. So you take them, you basically fight them off, nurse them back to health, study them, and release them back into the wild. I think that's quite cool. And the other map here we've got is the InGen Harvester Camp. So this is a long map with cages and enclosures filled with captured dinosaurs and decorations. So Easter eggs from, the Lost World we kind of mentioned in there. Missions will be herding the captured dinosaurs away while avoiding the hunters. So we get to use kind of like that. There's also the potentially reverse of that. We are the poachers. So that would be kind of cool to take herding the dinosaurs and avoid the hunters, and then we are the poachers, kind of get them. Obviously there's flip as well, and then we'll head back to the separate map and go back and try and help the dinosaurs we rescued and then release them out into the wild. I think that's quite a nice story there. In terms of the theme, the building theme, I like the overgrown theme. So we've got all these kind of park bits that have really gone to disarray. You can see everything's got mold on it and really kind of destroyed, and nature's kind of claimed it a bit. So I think that's a really cool building theme. Got the InGen compound, the operations building. Maybe that could be how that works. Overgrown building theme, rusted and overgrown, like at the workers' village. And also the high hide, which is like the Biosyn outposts in the second game. I'm assuming they're going to come back for the third game. I think that'd be really cool in that regard to have that, so you can use them and have like a more Jurassic Park style for those kind of posts and things like that. And just if you want to create a really abandoned, rugged park, I think that's the way to go. We'll carry on as well. New placeable objects. We've got the vehicles that you can get. You can see all these vehicles. There's lots of different vehicles you can get in the game as well. You got the ATVs as well. Maybe you could replace them with a motorcycle. That could work. For the kind of that version. Also base camp tents. You can see those kind of tents going on there. Dinosaur cages. There's lots of cool dinosaur cage designs that we could use. RVs that are placeable, so different things you can place around, and decorations like cars and benches, things like that. You can obviously do that. There is a lot of different types of things coming in JWE 3, so I imagine that would come as well as part of that thing. We won't worry too much about that. So dinosaur variants. So these are variants that I'd really like to see. You have the variants of a Mamenchosaurus, something that much more accurate to the original movie, rather than the Mamenchosaurus in the game. Dilophosaurus would be another cool one that deserves a little bit of love, I think. And then you've got Gallimimus as well, that could use a little bit more love as well. And then we've also got one that's kind of been missing for a while, the 97 Pteranodon. So we got the 2001 Pteranodon, the one with the teeth. But we haven't got the 97 one yet, so I think that'd be cool to get that. In the first game, they had the skin, but they haven't put it back yet. And I think they should probably give it its own variant or own proper skin with its own model and everything. I think that'd be quite cool in that regard. New skins and retextures. We've got here the 93 Parasaurolophus, so you can see that one there. I think that would look really, really good. And complete that, old JP vibes. The 97 to 01 Triceratops, you can see that's a Triceratops that's seen in both The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3. A retexture for the 97 Pachycephalosaurus. A new kind of design for the Spinosaurus. You can see it fits a little bit more better in the movie, and then one that fits the Corythosaurus a little bit better as well. So I think that's good in that regard. So other ideas? I do like the idea of playing as the bad guy for a change. You could be the bad guys rounding up the dinosaurs and trying to catch them and sell them, and then you kind of play the reverse or thwarted. So maybe you have to play in one instance as maybe you start the game as the bad guys and then go and catch all the dinosaurs, and then maybe you can play as the good guys and then go and release them or something like that. I don't know exactly how that worked, but I think that would be quite cool. Two similar other game modes, but I think that would really add a lot. And also random dinosaur spawning, trying to create that true Site B mode that people are going for and want. I think that'd be quite cool as well. But last but not least for our DLCs, we've got the Chaos Theory DLC. This goes through the rest of the Camp Cretaceous and stuff like that. I think that'd be quite cool. So, based on Season 4 and 5 of Camp Cretaceous and all seasons of Chaos Theory, the 4th season I think will be coming out just after when the game has released. So I imagine we'll get 5 seasons or so. So that's more material for them to use in the game. And the next 2 seasons look like they're probably going to be based around more movie things, because the last one, we had Pyroraptor and then we went to the Bison Valley. So I guess there'll be not quite as much new content, but there is some new content that I've got in here that I think will be quite cool. So the story of the Manticore map based around the creation of the Manticore Island, with the player taking and breeding dinosaurs while building the biodomes and other infrastructure on the island, and then you skip forward to after the events of Season 5 and turn the island into a dinosaur sanctuary. The Senegal map as well is set within the older CC crew investigating the black market and find dinosaurs being farmed by locals. That leads to the secret underground facility where they have that leucistic baryonyx and things like that. A bunch of recruiting characters, all those characters that we kind of got down there. In terms of biodomes, I really like the idea of the biodomes. Split into the 5 biomes, desert, redwood forest, tropical swamps, tropical rainforest, which would be just the outside, and the tundra arctic. So each biome is almost like a new map and is researched, and when built dinosaurs can be moved between them. And missions will include researching dinosaur behavior, dinosaur fights, and control trips and dinosaurs' heads. So I think that'd be quite cool. Because a lot of people like a play with dinosaur kind of idea. You could, do that and have you play with dinosaurs idea in there as well. Researching dinosaur behavior. You can maybe even tie this up with Dominion and Rebirth. Them investigating how would dinosaurs actually survive in our kind of modern world. I think that would be another cool thing as well. Make it a bit more grounded in that regard. I think that's another cool aspect to too. But I like the idea of having it all on one map, so you can switch around and be like, oh, how do I want to put my Brachiosaurus in Tundra for whatever reason, and just see how it goes, kind of thing. But they obviously all have their preferred habitats, things like that. You can try and make animals, prefer what habitats and your genetics and things like that. But yeah, cool in that regard. I think another cool one, Senegal. So Senegal is a place in Africa. It'd be cool to have an African map. We got the hippos and things like that. I think it'd be cool to have like ambient animals, maybe. Have like hippos and things like that swimming around, things like that. That would be cool. So you help farmers with the dinosaurs, help take care of them, and then you find the secret facility and then rescue the dinosaurs in there. So I think that's another great thing in that regard. I think it's cool, the Manticore theme. So in more Camp Cretaceous content. That's a cool theme as well. So you got the Manticore theme that had path buildings, fences, and that very kind of futuristic style. To replace the MUVs and Rangers and Captor teams and ATVs, things like that, you could have the drones, the Brads, and the Bradxes. I think that's a really cool design. Very futuristic and almost creepy. I know a lot of people that are more pure Jurassic Park fans wouldn't like that, but I kind of strive with these, even if I don't like them that much personally. I kind of strive for the completionist. So basically, almost everything from most major Jurassic Park kind of major media appearances like Camp Cretaceous and the movies and other things like that, I think they are worth adding in that regard. So we can add that here, and you can have some more Camp Cretaceous items and decorations like the zip line, the tour jeep, and things like that. So some other kind of designs and things like that. And you can also add that for Rebirth as well. There were some new designs there, just kind of to complete that out a bit, especially with the modular building of Jurassic World Evolution 3. That'll have a lot more options in that regard. New dinosaurs, I've been eyeing on Smilodon quite a bit because they've managed to add like Tarbosaurus and things like that in there, and maybe they'll have to add them back in a DLC, which I don't like. I think they should all be free. But in that regard, this is kind of new stuff. Beckel Spinax is really the only major new dinosaur from Chaos Theory, Beckel Spinax, which technically doesn't exist. It's Alta Spinax, so they got the wrong genus name. But yeah, the Smilodon, that would be another cool thing to add, just to add something wildly different, And the giant locust, I think it would be cool to add them as well, because they're supposed to be a Cretaceous locust. I think it'd be cool to have that back in the game. And just have that completionist in me happy. Also some new variants as well. We got Smoothie. Smoothie is one that was introduced in Season 3. It was one of the baby of Bumpy. So I think that's a cool one as well. We've also got that really cool leucistic baryonyx. I was really actually quite surprised that they added something like this. I thought it was really cool. They modified a dinosaur with no eyes and, uses echolocation like a bat or a dolphin to move around. I thought that was really cool. Suchomimus, we've got the Suchomimus variant there. We've already got Suchomimus in the game, most likely as well. So you can change that to be different colours. There was an orange one as well. I like the hippo fight too. That was quite cool. Pachyrhinosaurus, we've already got that as well, and that would fit. Embryongosaurus, I think that's another cool one as well, so that fits as well. And then a bunch of new skins, because Camp Cretaceous had quite a few new skins. You've got the ones with the striped Stegosaurus, and even if you go back up to the top there, you can see kind of the spots and the stripes there. So just little skins like that, I think would be quite cool to add, just to pad out the pack a bit, so you can see there's all sorts of different colors and things like that you can change there. But yeah, it's cool. So yeah, I think that's about it for me today. So thank you for watching. So a lot of the content that I added here is based off my own ideas and looking at what the JWE community wants to see. So if there's something you want to see that didn't make it in, leave a comment. I love to hear what you guys think about these things. And I hope you guys like and subscribe. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts, my ideas. Obviously sound off in the comments what you think. And yeah, I really, really, really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys like and subscribe. Always look at the little bell icon to get notified about anything. So if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys like and subscribe, and bye-bye.